Good morning, everybody. Another day. Doing dough. Like I do. Showing you the little 360 view of my little hole that I hide the flour in. I got pulled in two different directions today. One was the inner morality and the soul of somebody who's wealthy. And the other side of it is the direct obstacles that money makes. Now, ever since I came back to my dough job, I had renegotiated the terms of my employment. The employer seemed they're fine with that. Everything was happy. I think I've missed a day, maybe two. And it was like, I think, actually, I don't think I've called off a single time since we've started. But I know that I've had some days off due to a need to not have the dough because I made too much. Either way, point being is I'm probably the most consistent thing that the owner has to work or has to rely on in terms of employment. You would think that whatever we discussed at that table when we negotiated my terms of employment would be what she strove to keep at. But that's not how it's worked. Money creates 1,000,001 complications. Now, she's had to deal with, I have child support that I pay. The federal government never takes the right amount of money. They never take the right amount of money. You have to file a W-4 or whatever, or the I-9 like 6 times sometimes before they finally do things right. And it's because naturally the IRS is trying to take every cent they can. They'll find a reason to not give it back. They always do. I've watched as my federal income taxes have gone up and up and up, and all the other things that localities, it's done nothing but go up and go up. And I don't mind that my taxes go up a little bit if it was actually doing something, but the leaders are literally just putting it in their pocket. Now, you'd say that makes them bad, but doesn't it make us just as bad for continuing to give it to them? I could easily just say, pay me cash or I don't work. And I may not work here, but if I did, I've had plenty of cash jobs. It doesn't take long. Somebody will do it. When you show them how good of a worker you are, they'll pay you what you want to do the job they need done. Money makes things harder because it's much more long-term and much more solid of a relationship when it's based around you doing what it is that you want to do and not focusing on, is it going to end in a Ferrari? We wouldn't have grocery stores if people weren't stocking those shelves, and well, that's not a very hard job, except, have you done it? It's a pretty miserable job. It's mind-numbing, but it needs done, and you can say, well, we'll have robots to do that soon, except a robot isn't going to be as fluid in telling you what is in and what is better, or making sure that things in particular places are clean that a robot may not get to until a scheduled time. There are 1,000,001 reasons why this person is absolutely vital in this position. And people are like, no, they're not that important. I mean, it's the stupidest thing in the world. People have been stocking shelves since before any of the importance that scientists and things. People have been making sure that the supplies are where they need to be since supplies were ever a thing. And yet we look down on it. Why are we looking down on it? It's absurd. The reason we look down on it is because it doesn't make very much money. What? What? I know people who are I can talk string theory and I went to college, but you can't hold down a job for 2 weeks stocking shelves because it's so mind-numbing. You just think you're so much better than everybody else that you don't want to do regular work. None of you college kids, Harvard, none of you are more important than stocking a shelf. No one. Especially presidents. Like, presidents think they're the most important person in the world, and nothing they say means anything. It's absurd. I just spit on the camera. I got that. That's sad. Oh well. I'm not going to reshape the video over it. This is why they put the camera across the room, so you don't notice things like that. I don't have that. Anyway, the point that I'm making in all of this is that money is just as bad for the wealthy as it is for the poor. The poor may not have enough, but the wealthy have way too much. I mean, have you seen what too much does to somebody? I mean, drugs, is that ringing a bell? Obesity. I mean, to do something too much is to kill yourself. Why do people seem so resigned to hurt themselves and knock years off of the end of their life for something that's not giving them anything in return? It's just hurting you.